Click the subscribe button below. If you find the information useful, please click the like button, to help others find our content. For more information you can visit our website, at thejerusalemassembly.org.
The Jerusalem Assembly. March 2, 2016. America's Dark Hours. The Introduction by Ruben D. Garcia. More than 25 years have passed since I sat one Christmas morning in 1981 and began to write an elaborate and lengthy novel titled, God's Chosen Ones, outlining the perils of a country I love so dearly. It was a December morning I will never forget, but it was not the first time in which I was made aware of the connection between God and mankind. My love for God's teachings allowed for me to dedicate an early childhood to the Catholic Church and its teachings. From early years of my life, I was fascinated for the study of other religions and still am. However, the intensity with which I began to study other dogmas but also psychic phenomena was in the 1979 after returning from Germany after completing an overseas military tour. While in Germany, I had a vision that involved my person. Initially, I did not pay much attention to no more than a passing dream, but it was the reoccurrence of the dream in which it became more and more detailed that I began to take it seriously. This ability or talent of seeing visions of the night was not something that I acquired at that time. To the contrary, according to my mother's comments, I seemed to possess some ability from an early age. She often denoted it as a gift from God. My father, on the other hand, considered it to be just in the psychic nature. It was my father's explanation that really got me interested in pursuing the value of researching more about the aspects of psychic phenomena in people's lives, especially mine. I have to admit that during my early childhood I did know that I possessed some gift but never gave it much attention until those dreams in Germany. The visions conveyed to me were that if I continued flying, I would encounter a death not yet to be due to an air accident. Initially, I was not much concerned, but as the visions of the night began to be repeated, it provided more clearly key elements and I began to notice that the visions had to do with friends of mine I knew then, and we maintained a strong comradeship. I conveyed to them my concerns and fears, but they shrugged them off as silly dreams and fears from me. To be short and to the point, 3 accidents occurred within 2 years, 2 of those were the ones I had been given. I lost 4 of my dear friends. From that time in 1979, I began to be devoted and became very serious about the heavens providing visions of the night. I know that there is large number of people that do not believe in such things, but I can assure you that they are valid and worthy of attention and adherence. I departed Germany in August 1979 and began my academic career in psychology. Back then, of course, I shared all this with my parents and especially my mother, which provided me with insights that her and my father never shared with me because of the fear that I may find it ludicrous, hilarious, and out of content. Patiently, they waited for my awakening to share their experiences and being witnesses to my early childhood talents. To make it all short, in 1979, I launched my life seeking answers to this phenomenon that now intrigued me and engulfed my interest. For the next 10 years, I spent times with religious scholars, ministers, and theologian teachers, discussing, researching all aspects of psychic, spiritual, and religious topics. Between late 1979 to that Christmas Day in 1981, I had not had a preference of religion or house of worship. By then, I could say I was an outsider Catholic. Sadly, I did not go every Sunday to church, but on some occasions. However, after 2 years of exhausting research, study, and reading, the answer came from my own parents after having them for a visit in the USA that opened my eyes. It was a simple but poignant point. They wondered why I sought answers from others when they insisted that I had more than they did. Both of them encouraged me to begin accepting the gift and honor its offering. It was this that culminated with the event on Christmas Day in 1981, and since then, I made a promise to God that I would not disregard His gift of visions but rather devote my life to His teachings, mandates, and tell whoever wanted to hear about His warnings. I am 70 years old now, but in my early teens while growing up in Panama, I was shown visions of future events filled with fire, raging storms, and earthquakes. I often told my mother about these things I dreamed, but she just added, "It's just childhood dreams." However, when I shared it with my church priest, he would be attentive to all I would say and simply added, "It is God telling you what he may do." Initially, it did not make much sense to my young mind to have such vivid and almost realistic dreams. One of these abilities that were most interesting to me back then was that at that young age I could see a glow around people, most often on children. My father told me that I had the ability to see auras, which is the essence of all living things. It was so common to me that I became accustomed to see it in just about everybody. However, there were times that I saw dull yellow and red colors around some adults, and in some cases I observed no glow in some people. Years later, I was informed that I was witnessing illness and death to come on those people. After completing the novel in middle of 1982, for nearly 10 years I struggled to have someone help me publish what I was provided that Christmas Day in 1981. I sought the assistance of a Christian publisher, non-religious publishers, and I even approached Ms. Oprah Winfrey as a publisher to see if they would be interested in publishing my novel, but I was always turned down. After all, it was a prophetic novel and I thought the world would be eager to read it. I was wrong. First, people were not interested in such nonsense. Second, I had no funds to pay for the publishing cost. Third, I was an unknown writer. Publishers were interested only in known writers. Those were years of frustration and disappointments. Finally, in 2004, I found an individual that saw the value of what was written and provided the funds toward publication, but with an agreement that it would be paid back, of which currently I am paying back. Believe it or not, the novel God's Chosen Ones was published. The published novel sold only 29 copies. I was heartbroken and in awe because it was a valuable novel of our tomorrow. It did not become the success I hoped for, but recently in a vision, I was indicated that the time for the novel is now and it will be given an opportunity to be made into a movie, and reprints of it will be made in the future. It is a novel with valuable insights of what is to come in the future. The contents of this novel are broken into 3 phases, one phase to be between the years 2012 to 2019. The second phase is from the year 2020 to the year 2039, and the final phase is from the year 2040 to the year 2060. It is because of what lies ahead for us, the United States of America, that I begin to disclose what was provided for me during my childhood in Panama and what was provided in December 1981. Additionally, I am in an advanced age. My mind is very alert, and with a prophetic knowledge that needs to be shared before the mind decides to take a different course is vital to put it all in writing. This is the reason why I created the Jerusalem Assembly organization, with the purpose to provide the information given to me as to what lies before the USA and be there for those that are very concerned with the outlook of our country in the spiritual and divine arena. I am very much aware that there is a deluge of agencies, people, and organizations talking about end-of-time things. One more may not be of interest to many, but I can assure you that what I was foretold and what I have witnessed in the last 30 years, I can tell you, it is all true. We, the USA, have entered a period of unprecedented dark hours. It may not make much sense to a lot of people after being bombarded by so many apocalyptic events that not even an ounce of it has taken place. The answer is because we are in the eye of the storm and comes with a deceptive quietness that soon will be shattered. Thus, in the next few months, I will be outlining what is in God's Chosen Ones, but in more details as it was shown to me. After this introduction, the following articles will be broken into 4-year periods describing various possible events that will follow a pattern of destiny for America. The articles will encompass a table of events period from 2012 to 2060. This period span will be broken into a 4-year period for a total of 12 4-year periods. Part 1 will cover from period 2012 to 2016, especially 2016 with its presidential election. Period 2 from 2016 to 2020, Period 3, 2020 to 2024, Period 4, 2024 to 2028, Period 5, 2028 and so on until the year 2060 and beyond. The articles will include significant dates relating to the nation of Israel and the United States and how these valuable dates are an intricate part of our destiny. Also, I will describe various major events that are to come in the future. For example, yes, we are going to Mars before 2040. Also, before this era arrives, Earthlings will find out that we are not alone in the universe. SETI will confirm it. There will be financial, social, and even religious unrest here and even at the Vatican. The internet will suffer a massive crash and will create such a chaos that it will make the Depression of 1929 look like a picnic. There is to be another scandal in the White House when Americans elect an undesirable person as president that will perform an abomination that it will take for God to cleanse our White House by 2028. These are just few of the observations to be provided. It was not an easy task. Believe me, to come to a consensus that I must share what has been given. It took much prayer and supplication to seek that such task be given to some famous evangelist, or known psychic, since they would have the convincing clout to have people listen. However, it was hard to say no, for the spirit above is very persuasive. I look forward to disclose all that it has been given in the hope that it can help someone along the way. The intent I have is to provide some sort of destiny map in which I can disclose the pits and falls along the journey of America. I am confident and certain that what was given to place in the novel mentioned was not for entertainment but a serious approach toward a nation that has denied God, and has guided its citizens to a spiral spiritual decaying with terrifying endings. Until then, Shalom.